Digimon is a truly iconic brand, cementing itself as a favourite of many and enduring for over 2 decades. But when you last as long as something like Digimon, you're gonna do some weird collaborations. Today I'm looking at some of the strangest crossovers in Digimon franchise history.
Hey, come on! Call EX!
Firstly, and possibly most iconic / terrifying / apparently I've heard that there are Digimon fans who get very annoyed if you bring this up, which is just get over yourselves. The Angela Anaconda short that plays before the Digimon movie. This is such a weird time capsule every time I go back and watch the Digimon movie because it is on all home releases to this day. I have my DVD copy of the Digimon movie and it is still on there. If you never watched Angela Anaconda, it must have been even weirder, but it was a Canadian animation about a bunch of Canadian kids in school that aired, I believe, obviously on Fox Kids. But it doesn't make the collaboration any less strange. Was it to boost Angela Anaconda? Was it to get Angela Anaconda fans into Digimon? I don't think I know any single person who would say Angela Anaconda was their favourite show as a kid, so I don't think Digimon needed the help. So Angela Anaconda was getting help from Digimon. It led to some truly baffling moments, including Angela Anaconda digivolving into Angelamon and fighting a mech, which is just like a Power Rangers thing, not a Digimon thing, but I'll get over it, it's fine. And also Angelamon looks like a giant tie, not a Greymon. It's such a strange crossover, and I think back in the day, you'd get a lot of bumpers and stuff between shows where you get like joking little crossovers between the shows that were airing that day, or just the big hitters like Power Rangers and Digimon. In fact, you may remember that Digimon has referenced Power Rangers a couple of times, but nothing to this level, and nothing so weird and jarring of a mix. That there is no link between Angela Anaconda and Digimon other than the fact they were on the same channel, and so all these years later, almost 20 years since the Digimon movie came out, you still sit through Angela Anaconda and her friends going to a movie theater to see the movie you're about to see. What a weird crossover. Next on the list is kind of more cool and neat than it is strange, but it is Omegamon. Now this one is very recent, debuting this year in April 1st, 2020. It is an April Fool's Digimon, a Medabot version of Omnimon or Omegamon. Oh God, some people will lose their minds if you say Omnimon instead of Omegamon. In this case, Omega, fine. I know next to nothing about Medabots. It's one thing that I saw happening on the distance away from me and I just never got into, but it's very iconic to me. I think the guy is called Metabee, the sort of main Medabot. I remember him very vividly. So in the year of our Lord 2020, to see Omegamon become a Medabot is just so weird. It would be like seeing Omegamon become a big bad Beetleborg, you know? It's just so strange. Medabots is getting something of a relaunch this year, so it makes sense they kind of brought it back into the public consciousness. But it's not even like it's a Toei or Bandai Namco property, it's like Natsume and owned by Imagineer, so it's just so strange of a crossover, but such a cool April Fool. I wish that Digimon would do more April Fools like this. They really haven't done many. There's been a couple of little oblique ones, but nothing like really substantial until Omegamon this year. I kind of hope they do another one next year, just do a different crossover every year as a joke. Maybe next year we'll get an Omegamon that's made of Angela Anaconda. But yeah, if you do see me doing a video in April where I talk about Omegamon again, sorry, there's not much April Fool's content to talk about in Digimon. But what is cool about this April Fool's is because it was a crossover, there was also an Omegamon equivalent introduced for Medabots, although again, as an April Fool, he's not real, in the form of Omega Knight. And he's basically just a chibi version of Omegamon. It reminds me of in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition, you get the NX versions of Omegamon, Alphamon, and a couple of others, and it looks just like that. So I like the chibi-ish design of Omega Knight, and I actually think the design of Omedamon is actually pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Omnimon-style fusions. I want to see more of them. My big hope, Digimon Adventure 2020, was going to be that each of the Digidestined would pair off and get their own Omnimon, because Omnimon was such a focus, but seems that's not the case now. But anytime I see two things just mashed up into an Omnimon, I am all for it. Next up on the list is Hatsune Miku.
Have you heard of Hatsune Miku? Today, I'd like to announce a new collaborative project featuring Hatsune Miku.
Miku, Miku, you can call me Miku. That's right, in 2019, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Digimon Adventure, a collaboration between Digimon and Hatsune Miku was announced, officially partnering Miku with Agumon, which is strange, obviously because Agumon is the mascot, but it also kind of implies that Miku would have Agumon as her partner Digimon, which I guess is fine. This collaboration featured a cover of Butterfly by Miku. I'm sure Vocaloid fans are going to kill me for saying cover, but it's a Vocaloid, it's not a real person. But yes, she covered Butterfly, and a ton of illustrations were released by artists that were just so cool. They look really nice. There's just something so cool about when artists get to do collaborative piece for Digimon, because they're both official, but they also feel kind of personal and fun. In particular, the art by Rella absolutely blew me away. I loved it. And most famously, the collaboration led to a Nendoroid of Miku wearing a Kigurumi of Agumon. It's Miku in an Agumon suit. What's not to love? Our penultimate item on the list is perhaps less surprising, but still very jarring when you see it, and that is when Lily from Tekken showed up in Digimon. Lily features prominently in Digimon World Redigitize and Decode, and she is literally supposed to be herself from the Tekken franchise. She is the first time a non-Digimon character has appeared in a mainline Digimon game, or in fact in any Digimon game. She fits in surprisingly really well with the world, but it's just really strange that a Tekken character is here. We've had things like Project Cross Zone where we've seen Tekken characters show up with other characters from different franchises, but Digimon? And also her partner is a Numemon called Catherine? And it's not like one of those characters where she was created at the same time and then forced into it. Lily is a long-standing character in Tekken. If they wanted to do some weird Tekken synergy, they could have done, you know, Heihachi or Kazuya or something. They very deliberately picked Lily, and it's never less strange to me. In the original Redigitize, she is basically a cameo character, a fun nod, but in Decode, she becomes a full-on character with a storyline. And honestly, as much as I want to say, oh, this is silly, I want to see more of this. In either a full Digimon game or like a Project Cross Zone 3, I would love to see Digimon brought into the ranks of other Bandai Namco characters. Hell, we've seen how successful Pokken Tournament was. Maybe we could get like a Digiken Tournament and just have a bunch of Tekken characters advising. Brainwave! You know how like a Pokemon Conquest you had all the Nobunaga's Ambition characters crossing over with Pokemon? Have Tekken characters who have Digimon partners and it's a fighting game. Jin with Agumon, Lily with Numemon, Heihachi with Monzemon, let's go! And the final item on our list for this video. When you think of Digimon, what do you think of? The bonds between Tamer and Digimon, your nostalgia for the franchise, engaging in the property with friends? Well, I think of fighter jets. That's right, Digimon had a crossover with Ace Combat Infinity. That's right, to promote Digimon World Next Order in 2016, Bandai made the perfectly logical choice to have a crossover with its existing PS3 game, Ace Combat Infinity. The crossover would allow you to put Next Order decals, unlockable in-game, on your fighter jet, so you could take to the skies and shoot down your enemies with an Omnimon on your wing if you wanted to. The emblems that were unlockable by completing certain challenges were Takato with Agumon, Shiki with Gabumon, and spoilers, Mameo from Digimon World and now Digimon World Next Order, as well as an Omegamon emblem. And yeah, you could fly them happily on your plane as you went around doing whatever it is you do in Ace Combat Infinity. It's not the most egregious crossover ever, you know, there wasn't Digimon flying around with the planes or anything like that, but it's just such an odd mashup, you know? The game is ostensibly a flight sim crossed with a dogfighting sim, and it's just so weird to see Digimon pop up in it. Lily from Tekken at least makes sense, you know, human character, video games, there's the link. Angela Anaconda in the Digimon movie, it's like a little fun Pixar promo, you know, the crossover is super weird, but at least I can see it happening. But Bandai Namco just had two properties and went, well, I've got my peanut butter and my chocolate, I guess I'll just... But I just want to see more of this. Just keep it coming. Throw Digimon at anything. The more Digimon crossovers, the better. Anyway, that was my look at what I think are some of the strangest Digimon collaborations and crossovers that have ever happened. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any ones that you really like or find strange that I missed, or just let me know if you like the video. Is this the first time you're hearing about some of these crossovers? I imagine most of us know about Angelamon, but probably less of us know about the Flight Sim crossover.
Have some fun with Miku.
As always, thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. hugely helps the channel just doing that. And until next time, let's go digital.